Hello again, everyone. I'm back. Hunter Christ, thanks for the resub. Welcome back to the Roll Nation, Kalima. So tonight is going to be a little different than normal. I'm not just going to play Magic all night. There's going to be an interlude where first I'm going to talk about this Stoneblade deck that I played at GP Niagara and how that went for me. And then around 7, maybe a little earlier, I'm in the finals of the Pittsburgh Pauper League, which is a real-life paper league here in the city. But John Tan of the Titan Game Shop has decided he wants to produce and commentate live on the finals of our Pauper League. So that's going to happen at some point tonight. John is... I assume he knows what he's doing. I don't have a perfect plan yet, but he's really organized. He's really smart. I'm sure it's going to be fun. So, Hunter Christ, that sounds pretty similar. So, Hunter Christ asked how this weekend went for me, and he said he went 7-1 day one and finished 8-7, and I went 6-2 day one, and then I dropped it 6-6. I was 6-1, and then I dropped it 6-6. I lost 5 in a row. So I basically made day 2 only barely, and then lost every possible X6 prized. That's fucked up. Yeah, I dropped at X5. I was done. Like after losing 5 in a row, I was over it. But I had a feeling that prizes would go pretty deep because it was a big one. It was a 50K event, so like top 110 prized. And there were not a whole lot of people in day 2. It was a pretty small event for a GP. But we can run down how the event went for me. I can do this tournament report style. So this is the deck I played. It should also be in the Cardboard Live app. Yeah, it's there. So I'm going to go to my trusty Twitter here, @BoschandRoll. This is where I live tweet most of my records and status in various tournaments. So where is... These are all my sweet Canada pictures. Oh, you played Grixis Control? Yuck. Alright, so here is the thread with my tournament in it. So the Stoneblade list I played is in the background here. I think the list is really good. I still think the list is really good. Stoneblade, Blue-White Blade with Jailer won the tournament. Daniel had some pretty significant differences in his list than mine. I played Sean. Oh, in day 2? I have played Sean before. Alright, so I started out 2-0 because I have 2 buys. Round 1 was real weird. My opponent told me he was on a brew. He basically just straight up was just like, you probably didn't test for this. And I was like, all right. And he had heard of me before, and he had also heard that a lot of the like legacy guys, quote unquote, were playing Sneak and Show. So he mulliganed an Unknown 7 as if I was Sneak and Show, then kept 6. And then when I played a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, he was like, oh shit, I should have kept my 7. But he was on 4-color stuff. It was every color but green. It was just like Grixis Control, but also had Swords to Plowshares and True Name Nemesis in it. It was a weird one. Game 2, he cast a Kaya. The new Kaya, not Ghost Assassin. The one from Return to Ravnica, or Ravnica Allegiance. Whatever the current set is. So it looks like Grixis Control that tried to shoehorn in Kaya as best as it could. But I defeated that opponent pretty cleanly. Black-green depths, I played in round 4. My opponent was not super fluid with their play. I had a wasteland at one point and they just went for Hex Mage on depths and I just wasted in response. Like, I guess they figured they just have to work through it, but I think you work through it by drawing Thespian Stage and then you just go off twice in response to the wasteland. So or force the wasteland with the Hex Mage and then copy it with the stage and then you still get a 20/20. But they just went for it and I picked it off and that made game 1 pretty easy. Then game 2, they had assembled depth stage and I had Jason play. And I started my turn with a Ponder and they thought really hard and then made Merit Lage in response. I think they were trying to play around me drawing a wasteland, but then I just bounced the Merit Lage with Jace, which I hadn't activated yet. So that one was a clean victory. Death Shadow. So this one, this was my first loss. And Shadow, I think, is a really good matchup. But unfortunately, my opponent knew how to use Liliana the Last Hope. A lot of players will just resolve it and then start plussing, like race to Zombie Town. But my opponent was really smart and used it to just regrow Shadows and Gurmags that had died and was able to defeat me eventually. My hands 2 and 3 did not line up really well. It was like I bring in the Flusterstorms because I want to be able to survive their early onslaught of targeted discard. Like, I'm fine flustering a Thoughtseize. I would almost never force a Thoughtseize. So, like, Flusterstorm comes in. I bring in the 2 Flusters for 2 forces. But then I lost game 2 and 3 with a handful of blue cards and no clock, no action, and they just went coast to coast with the last threat that stuck. So, not sure if the plan is bad or if it just lined up bad, but that one did not go well. But it was close. It was super close. Round 6, I played against a local. His name's Jesse. I played against Jesse on Infect. And game 1, I was basically just like clench my butthole and hope to draw blue cards or white cards. Like, I had a handful of cantrips and lands that I kept. And I knew he was on poison. And I was like, I hope these Ponders find some Swords to Plowshares. And I drew swords off the top for my first turn, plowed a card, and then found another one eventually and plowed another card, and then he was dead. And then game 2, I was dead to a green source off the top. He had a Glistener Elf in play, a Noble Hierarch, and 3 cards in hand. And I had I left back 3 Stoneforge Mystics to block with, just to absorb as much Berserk damage as possible. And he end-step bounced one of the Stoneforge Mystics with Unsubstantiate, which made me think he was going for it that turn. Because why would you do that if you're not going for it this turn? And then he attacked, I double blocked, and he had the Berserk, but he only had 2 green sources, and his pump spell was Vines of the Vastwood, so he needed a 3rd green source. And he had drawn Basic Island for the turn, which I'm not sure why Basic Island is in the deck at all, but it was, and he drew it, and as a result, I won instead of lost. So a 2-0 against Poison felt pretty good. I don't know how good that matchup is. They can never beat an active Umezawa's Jitte, like, ever in their lives. But if you don't, you take some time to set up and they can just kill you. Red Prison. Oh man, this was so sick. This Red Prison match. Game 1, I literally cast 1 spell in the entire game. And I moved to discard at least 4 times due to hand size. So what happened was my opponent was on the play. I didn't know what they were on. And I kept a hand of like land, ponder, brainstorm, swords to plowshares. Or no, it was land, ponder, brainstorm, spell snare, spell pierce, and Umezawa's Jitte. And it was like, all right, this hand's as good as it gets. But he had a turn 1 chalice. So my whole hand is dead. I have 2 lands and Umezawa's Jitte in my hand. But then I drew my next draw step was a True Name Nemesis, so I'm just like land go. Then he played a a Goblin Rabblemaster, and then I played a Stoneforge Mystic. I got Batterskull. I took my Crunch, and then the next turn I activated the Stoneforge, put in Batterskull. It ate a Goblin, and then it attacked. And so I'm up 8 life. And then the next turn, I Stoneforge in the Umezawa's Jitte that's already in my hand. And then the next turn, I equip it to the Batterskull, and he just could never remove this Batterskull. And it ended up just eating its way through the Goblin Horde. And because the Goblins have to attack, I get to eat one on offense and on defense. So I'm gaining 8 per turn cycle, and Jitte is getting 4 counters per turn cycle. And so the only spell cast that entire game was Stoneforge Mystic from me, and it was insane, and I won. And then game 2, I had Engineered Explosives in my opening hand, and his opening play is Chrome Mox, Pitch Chandra, Mountain, Chalice of the Void. And I'm just like, praise Jesus. I have the answer to the Chalice, and I get to clear this Mox for free along the way. And his turn 2 was a Rabblemaster, so my Engineered Explosives got to kill Chrome Mox, Chalice of the Void, and two Goblin tokens. And then I untapped, dealt with the Goblin, and won easily from there. So then my last round of day 1, this was round 8, and you play 9 rounds on day 1, but the cut is after round 8. But then you still play round 9 anyway. So my last round on like day 1 was against the guy who ended up getting 10th overall, I think, at the end of the event on Izzet Delver. And Izzet Delver can be tough or it can be really easy. And it's up to them to decide or to line up their things correctly. Like if their opening hand is like Delver, Young Pyromancer, Daze, Force of Will, Lightning Bolt, or whatever, you probably can never win. But if their opening hand is like True Name Nemesis, I don't know, Daze, Wasteland, just like awkward, then you can set up pretty easily and take over. Basically, if you ever connect with any of your equipments, you win. But my opponent won the die roll, had a turn 1 Delver, it flipped on turn 1, like just blind flipped on the first try, had a follow-up Young Pyromancer, and then was able to just like daze his way through the game. And in game 2, I was ready for Delver, but he had Young Pyromancer and then True Name Nemesis, which I looked at his list later and learned he only played 2 of, so that was a bummer. But yeah, he just lined up correctly and teed me up and shot me over the cliff. And then the round 9, the last match of the night, it was round 1 of day 2 technically, but it was still on day 1 because that's how that works. I played the mirror. My opponent in game 1 curved out turn 3 True Name Nemesis, turn 4 True Name Nemesis, turn 5 True Name Nemesis, and I was dead. My main deck can not answer that many True Name Nemesis in enough time to not be dead. And then game 2, I kept 3 lands, Gideon, Supreme Verdict, True Name Nemesis, and one other card, Batterskull, I think. And the hand is slow, it doesn't cantrip, but it does have Supreme Verdict. And my plan was to just let him run out some threats, verdict him, and then clean up from there. And he obliged. He had turn 2 Stoneforge, turn 3 True Name, turn 4 True Name, and I never drew my 4th land to Supreme Verdict him out. So, just died. Grixis Delver was my round 1 of day 2, round 10. And I think this matchup's good too, but his things lined up correctly. Like I crushed him with a Supreme Verdict in game 2. Like he had a turn 1 Delver, and then he had a turn 3 True Name Nemesis, which I lined up against my Batterskull, so neither of us can really attack. And then he had a Delver, and then he also added a Young Pyromancer, which was that Sean? Sean played Grixis, not Izzet. Or this guy played Grixis, not Izzet. But maybe it was. He had a random Black Splash. Yeah, he cast a Bitter Blossom, but not many other black cards. So maybe it was just like the Black Splash. Is it? Pegajuices, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so we played super long games where I ended up drawing every single land in my deck. Like in game 2, I couldn't fetch because all my lands were in play. Like I had 2 Flooded Strands and I had 2 cards in hand, and they were both the 2 lands that are left in my deck that's fetchable. Like I just couldn't present a threat. I blew him out with Supreme Verdict, cleared the board multiple times, and then just could not find or deploy a threat. And I ended up losing. And then you'll notice the wheels are coming off. These are all losses, spoilers. I lost to Is It Delver again. So this one, it was the same, where they had like turn 1 Delver, naturally flipped. This one I remember this game 1 because his turn 1 Delver on the play naturally flipped, revealing Lightning Bolt. And then like several turns later, I was able to clear his True Name Nemesis, and I could have cleared his Delver, but I would have been at 3 life, which is enough for the Lightning Bolt that I know is there from turn 1. So like if that Delver doesn't flip for just 1 turn, then I'd be at 5 on that turn instead of 3 and not dead to the Bolt. So it's just one of those like as ordained, so shall be moments where like here's the Lightning Bolt, and a million turns later, bolt you, you're dead for Xaxes. And then my last match, I played against the Mirror, and this match was insane. Like we played 2 really good first games, and then like the third game, we were low on clock, and I knew that it was not likely either of us could actually win the game, but like with like 2.5, 3 minutes left on the clock, I drew a Jace and it resolved. And I just went into aggro plus Jace mode. Like the board was mostly clear, and I'm just like, this is my only win condition left. Like plus you, plus you, plus you. And I was playing so fast that I just like let myself tunnel vision, and I tunnel visioned on I don't care about removal anymore, like while I was plussing him, and I just let him keep a Council's Judgment 1 turn, which it turns out is the only removal spell in their deck I still care about. And he had 1 mystery card in hand. I knew he had land, Spell Pierce, mystery card. Then he drew the Council's Judgment. I hard cast Force of Will on it with 7 mana available. So like the 5 for Force, then 2 more. He casts the Spell Pierce. I pay the 2. He casts the other Spell Pierce. Is the 1 mystery card I didn't know about. So I threw that one away, and it was fine. 6 and 6. Oh, I was X and 6, so I was already dead, Hunter Christ. I thought I dropped at X5, but I lied. Nope, 6 and 6. Perfect. A perfect record. 6 and 6. Even Steven. So a lot of those matchups just like are fine. Like I didn't play against any matchups where I was like, ah, shit, I can never beat this deck. Like I didn't play against Food Chain or like Bug Control or any unwinnable matchups. Just like it was just good Legacy where like we got to parity, and then my opponent drew a Brainstorm before I did, and then their hand was perfect while mine was still awkward, or like it could have easily gone the other way. So all of my losses were winnable. All of my wins were losable too, probably with tighter play from opponents or worse play from me. But that's Legacy. That's Magic overall. Daniel Guldicott, he has been crushing with various Stoneblade versions for a while now on Magic Online. He was actually one of the original lists. Like I hybridized this list out of a Delver Blade list and a traditional Stoneblade list, and his was the Delver Blade list that I used to hybridize this list out of. Let's get his deck list up and talk about it. Let's see if I can find the deck list. Oh, I did it way faster than I expected. All right. Yeah, you stuck it out. You're a trooper, Hunter Christ. I did not stick it out. My girlfriend came up with me and we did Niagara Falls and Canada stuff for the rest of the day Sunday. So I don't regret my choice to drop when I did, even though I was technically still alive. All right, so here's Daniel's deck. Yeah, I mean, if I were there alone, I probably would have kept battling. My round, my first round of day two took exactly long enough that I couldn't join the PTQ. Like I was ready to just like lose drop at X4 and just go. Yeah, yeah. Living close is good. I'm only about 3.5, 4 hours away myself, so I've been to Niagara Falls, but I've been with my parents and I've been on school trips. I had never been with a girlfriend before, so like everything's a little different. Yeah, Sean certainly took his time to make decisions. It happens, but like our whole match, I was thinking like I should tell this guy to play faster. And no offense to Sean, no hard feelings. It's just yeah, rightfully so. It seems like I'm not trying to be a jerk to anyone, but like playing at a respectable speed, especially in real life when you share a clock, is a really important part of Magic. That's crazy that he used to be slower. Now there are people who just like get really deliberate, and it's not clear if they don't know how slow they're being or they don't care because they want to find the right play. And either way, it's like it's rough. It's frosty. You can say it in a number of ways. So like I'll usually say like I need you to play faster or something like it depends on like the mood of the match. Like if we had a little bit of banter, like when we sat down and we have like a good rapport going, I'll say something a little cheeky like, you know, these rounds are timed, right? And then they're usually like, oh yeah, yeah, sorry, I'll play faster. If it's like neutral, I'll be like, I need you to play faster, or like, we're not gonna have time for a game three. I need you to pick it up, like something like that. Something to the point usually gets it across. If it's an ongoing problem, you can always call a judge and ask them to watch for a pace of play. That's usually how I phrase it. Like, judge, can you monitor the pace of play? And assuming that the event is properly staffed, judges are able to just hang out at your match and watch for a while, however long it takes them to determine that things are too slow or too fast. And then they'll either assess the slow play penalty, and then if they do, they'll usually stick around a little more, or they'll say like things seem okay, carry on. But don't be afraid to prod your opponent to play faster, especially like. And I was gonna say especially in Legacy, but it doesn't matter. Like all formats, like if you, yeah, you should. Like you absolutely should. The the round clock is one of the skill testers of tournament Magic. Like the what used to be called the DCI, like the body that sanctions Magic tournaments, has determined that playing your deck in a reasonable time, like quickly, is a skill that they want to test. Like they could have increased rounds to 90 minutes. They could have done a lot of things. They could just run rounds untimed, but they determined 50 minutes is enough time that two people should be able to play best 2 out of 3. And if you sometimes both players are playing quickly and the match just takes that long. Like the game is just that back and forth and nobody can really get traction and you go to time and that happens. But like if your opponent is like in the tank, like they like crack their first fetch land and they're like really thinking like 30, 40 seconds about like whether they want Volcanic Island or Underground Sea, like that's a problem. That's already a problem on turn one. And you can't wait until there's 3 minutes left in the round to say something or else it's too late. So you getting finding the words and the confidence to prod your opponent like I need you to play faster That is an important skill in tournament Magic. Yeah, draft is really bad for slow players. Like a good draft game where there's like removal flying and like the board stalls up a little bit and creature combat becomes really nuanced. Like limited can go to time a lot. Like, all formats can go to time. It happens, but it happens less if players are playing the correct speed. All right, so this is Daniel's list. I looked at it in the car, but I haven't actually broken down all the differences yet. Let's see if I can get both of these decks on screen at the same time. I can certainly do the main decks. Whoa. JK, maybe I can't. All right, I know it's on my list. It's in Cardboard Live if you want to look at it. But so Daniel had 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 lands. He has one less land than me. He does not have any wastelands. So he's got... What's up, Tommy Clean Socks? Welcome to the chat once again. All right, he's got an extra island and no wastelands. One less land overall, but otherwise... Like, those are the differences in the mana base. His creatures... 3 Snapcaster, that's the same. 4 Stoneforge, that's the same. He has 4 True Name. I only played 3. And he has 1 Vendilion Click, which I did not play. Like, I had... Kath Jews, thanks for the follow. So I main decked a Jailer, and he didn't. He had Vendilion Click in that spot. And I have 5 counterspells here, 5 1-mana counterspells, and he only has 2 or 3. Oh man, it's going to be whack-a-mole just getting these these things lined up correctly. All right, so he has 2 Spirit Pierce, 1 Snare. I have 3 Pierce, 2 Snare, so that's 2 extra slots. Yeah, so the slots where I have these 2 counterspells, he has the 4th True Name and the 2nd actual counterspell. He has 2 actual counterspell, but Jitte, 4 Plow. I have 5 of these where he has 3. 4 Ponder, 4 Force, 2 Council Judgment, Brainstorm, Batterskull, and he has 3 Jace where I main decked 2 and the Jailer. And that's the extra land slot. He's only playing 20, I had 21. Yeah, Hunter Christ, that is something I talked about a lot with Rich Shea leading up to the event. The Esper Stoneblade is really strong against blue-white Stoneblade, and it's really strong against combo. Like, you can add black to this mana base and discard spells and like different removal spells, and the discard can pick apart straight blue-white decks. Like, Thoughtseize is about the scariest card that I can think of. Like, Thoughtseize and Hymn to Turok are among the worst things that I don't want to play against with this deck. But what you gain in the control and combo matchups, you lose in the aggro matchups because like you just fold to Wasteland. Like, it's actually annoying how often this deck folds to Wasteland, and I have 7 basics, and this deck still sometimes just gets wasted off a mana source and gets fucked. So I do think this deck is good. Like, it clearly has the chops to be a legacy deck. It's just, it's going to be metagame dependent. So the non-black version is a little soft to combo and a lot soft to bigger control decks. Like, Miracles, I think, is the matchup I want to play against the least with this deck. Bart V, this is segues directly into your question. So against Miracles, the problem is that you have to be a Delver deck, and you're not a very good one. So like, you just need all of your permission and all of your threats, and you need to stick something and ride it to victory. But your threats cost your most aggressive threat costs 2, and then takes another turn cycle to actually become threatening. So you're not really attacking for damage until turn 4 at best with this deck, which makes it a pretty bad Delver deck because it's not supposed to be a Delver deck, but you have to take that role against the control decks. Palace Jailer is really good against the control decks, though. Like, if you become the Monarch against Miracles, it's really hard for them to take it back. Oh, apparently. Okay. Someone's being a dick. So let's just look at the internet. All right, so against Miracles, and like Grixis can be tough because they have like Kolaghan's Command, which is the perfect answer to Stoneforge Mystic. It's as if they designed that card to perfectly answer Stoneforge Mystic. And you can improve that matchup by... That's probably just one of the tougher ones in general. Like, adding black doesn't do a whole lot the way, like, black, you can just, like, Thoughtseize Miracles, take their Jace, and then you have tons of time to figure it out. Or you could just, like, take their Mentor with an Inquisition of Kozilek, and then you have all the time in the world. But Grixis Control is a little different because their Strixes are great value up the curve, and then they have all those sweet Planeswalkers. They board into a bunch of Lilianas, too. So... The bigger control decks are tough. Like, I would rather be Miracles in this matchup all day. And I think Miracles was a really smart choice for the tournament. And it's the deck that I would have been on 3 months ago if there was a Legacy tournament. I would have for sure just fired off Miracles. But Gerard top-8'd with Miracles. Were there 2 Miracles? I don't think so. I think there was just the one. Yeah, Miracles did make the top 8, and I know Lawrence Harmon, Delicious Waffles, he made a deep run with Miracles too. He 8-1 day 1, and then kind of the wheels came off day 2. Anurag Das, Anzi104, world famous Legacy streamer and podcaster, he went 12-3 with Miracles. Like, Miracles is a good deck. And I'll probably be moving more in that direction currently, while my oops, there goes Batterskull right out of the deck. While the metagame moves in the direction of Stoneblade just won the GP, then Miracles is going to be a good choice if your metagame is full of Stoneblade. So, because Miracles is very good against this deck. Speaking of which, Miracles? Oh, Miracles is great. I miss this deck. I love this deck. Again, there's always the debate, like, do you want the red splash, which breaks the mirror, or do you want to be rock solid mana base so you don't lose to Wasteland? So... I didn't even study Gerard's list. I don't know what he's doing. All right, so Gerard does not have red cards. He does have his signature Emrakul the Promised End. He puts this in a lot of decks. I don't know if it's good, but there it is. And there's Meddling Mage, too. So it's got a pretty hateful anti-combo sideboard, which you need. Super fast combo is rough for Miracles, and you should crush any fair deck just on value. So, do we want to play some Miracles tonight? I think we might. I gotta eat up some more time before the Pauper battle begins. Miracles. C-Half also played Miracles in this tournament. And then he played Stoneblade in the PTQ and got crushed by Lawan's Cephalid Empress. Let's Play Miracles has been called. All right, does this... Does Channel Fireball have an easy click, copy, put it in? All right, so here's Miracles. Let's play Stoneblade. Stoneblade and Miracles have both been voted for. Let me run to the restroom real quick. My bladder is exploding, and then we can figure out what blue-white deck we want to play. Go ahead and sound off in the chat right now if you prefer Miracles or Stoneblade. Let's hear it. I'll be right back. Oh, that's a pretty firm push in the direction of Stoneblade. Tommy, is there a list that you know with Meddling Mage particularly? Or are you just saying put it in there somewhere? Because against the Magic Online metagame, we definitely need some action against combo. The Magic Online metagame is super, super hostile to Stoneblade right now. Like, Sneak and Show is just everywhere. Alright, so let's look at Daniel's list, and let's look at my list, and figure out where we can put some cards. Alright, so I know Daniel likes Tormod's Crypt over Surgical Extraction. Oh, 2 Supreme Verdict. I like that. That's nice. That's big in the True Name mirrors. All right, so yeah, Meddling Mage could be good. I don't like... Does that even answer the question? Like, why didn't you play Wasteland? I'm lazy and don't like getting wastelanded? I don't know. I think Wasteland has been a really tight innovation in this deck, and I think it is correct to play at least one of them. I've been pretty happy with 2. All right, so Sword of Fire and Ice is an easy cut. If we cut... I'm not going Wasteland free. Wasteland's been too good against the Dark Depths decks. All right, so I can try this main deck click. Daniel had 2 Jailers in the board. All right, Jailer. Not that I'm in love with, like, just copying Daniel's list straight up, because I'm sure everyone on Magic Online. Yeah, Back to Basics has not... It's not in my list. It's not in Daniel's list. So the thing about Back to Basics is that the card existing forced the format into a place where the card isn't that good anymore. Like, unless you play against actual lands or, like, Eldrazi Post, those are the only times you ever really want the card. Like, I played without it at the GP and never missed it. And my first 2 rounds of the day were a 4-color mana base and green-black slow depths, and I still didn't miss Back to Basics. Edgar style list. All right, yeah, we should look at Edgar's list before we do anything, because he's basically playing check pile, right? Just 4-color control, 4-color Leopold. Yeah, this is effectively check pile. Stoneblade can basically never beat this deck, though. Like, straight up. The 3 Jaces certainly help your control matchup. Alright, so what have I taken out here? I took out 3 counter spells. I added a Vendilion Click. I took out 2 counter spells. Added a click. I did not do well at the GP. I started out 6-1 and ended 6-6. I just lost 5 in a row going from the end of day 1 into day 2 until I dropped. So started out strong and then the wheels came off. Do I have Meddling Mages? Hell yeah, I do. Nice. Alright, so Flusterstorm. Meddling Mage. You can try that. Yeah, I played this list. Well, now I've sort of Frankenstein the list. I've torn it apart quite a bit. But I played the list that I started talking about. The same one I've been streaming for the past like month or so. Doing pretty well with on Magic Online with it. Alright, so I'm just going to try Daniel's sideboard straight up. Alright, he has a Purge. I love Purge. 2 Priests. 3 Tormod's Crypt is a lot. He does not have a Gideon. Alright, I'm in. Also 0 Surgical. Woo! This guy is bold. Show and Tell has always run Lava Boy. You just have to know how to deal with it. Like, Priest is still the best card you can have against Show and Tell. It forces them to have a Lavamancer, basically. And you're bringing in your Palace Jailers against Show and Tell anyway, so there's an answer there. Disenchant Priest. Meddling Mage. 3 Flusterstorms in this sideboard. What budget decisions did he make, Tommy? And did he say that, or is that your read on the situation? Because the Tormod's Crypt is not a budget decision. That is a real decision that he made. I don't know if I can go down to 0 Surgical. It just seems heretic to do that. Like, Tormod's Crypt is so much better against Dredge and Storm and Phoenix than Surgical is. Surgical is better against, like, decks that aren't going to make you discard it. Like, I'd probably rather have Surgical against a Loam deck, but Crypt is still good there. And Surgical is good with Snapcaster. That helps you bridge the gap, like the turn 0 Surgical, then the turn 2 Snap Surgical. Alright, I actually still like Jailer in the main. Fuck a Jace. And what else? I cut counterspells. Daniel had actual counterspell. The main deck V-Click is pretty spicy. I don't hate it. I just noticed Daniel does not have a Caracas in his 75. Like, no respect for Sneak and Show or Reanimator, and no combo with the click. That's interesting. Alright, so Meddling Mage. I'm just going to see if I can just tilt this sideboard to just defeat combo. Just straight up hate combo. Don't want to lose to it. So these cards are good against combo. You need something for the fair decks. Gotta give them a little respect. And I still have a main deck card. What do I want to play? Another Snare, another Pierce. I could play the 4th True Name. Alright, Daniel played 4 True Name. That's probably right in today's fair meta. Alright, I'm going to try this. This is a presentable deck. Does New Teferi seem good? Everyone's talking about him, and I'm not impressed. Oh, the league's rolled over. All right. No, only 1 trophy has been earned so far. Like, Teferi is certainly, like, the city in a the one-sided city in a bottle effect is certainly good. It's just like, what shell does it go in? Like, you don't just ram that into Miracles. All right. Also, we're in London Mulligan world on Magic Online, in case people do not play this format or this platform. This hand's pretty good against combo and pretty bad anywhere else. So I'm going to mulligan it. It needed a 2nd land. All right, I can keep this and check out. This is my new favorite thing. Boop, Batterskull's back in the deck. Batterskull never has to be in your opener again. Romulus. This is a person who I've played against before. Turn 1 Mother of Runes. Shit. Time to draw Plow. Plow, plow, plow. Damn. All right. It's going to be on hard mode. They got to stick their mom. That's not an Aether Vial, at least, so I'll take that. Yep, there's Thalia 100% of the time. I'm going to draw before I crack my fetch, because I actually do want to hit land drops. Yeah, right on time. All right, so Stoneforge is going to get Batterskull. Umezawa's Jitte is the best one in the matchup, the best weapon. But getting Batterskull online stops these Thalia beats, or it forces them to activate their Mother Runes at a time they don't want to. Just having Batterskull around is nice. Alright, so are they plowing my Stoneforge? No, they have a Stoneforge of their own. Alright, so them having their own Stoneforge plus Mom active is pretty scary. There's this damn plow right on time. Ugh. All right, so now they can set up Jitte, and I cannot. Though this Palace Jailer could take over the game if we get to a point where it's playable. We got to clear this Mom before we do anything else. All right, so this is kind of rough because I need my 4th land drop. Like, no version of this game is going to be successful without a 4th land. But I also want to put Batterskull into play. So I will make a decision based on what they do. If they just like put Jitte into play and try to connect. All right, no attacks. I'm going to brainstorm. Like they could plow here. Ugh. All right, no lands coming. All right, Palace Jailer, you're voted off the island. And Batterskull diversifies my color sources. Plow won't be good until Mom is gone, and then it's really good. Council's Judgment's going to be hard to cast. But I'm probably going to just spend my mana deploying True Names for the next couple turns. Ugh. That's pretty close to what I wanted, but not really. Alright, at least next turn I know that I can cast Council's Judgment. Like, once this Jitte is in play, I'll just do it. And Jitte can't connect unless they activate their Mother of Runes, which means I could Swords to Plowshares. Alright, so we're doing a little bit of a dance here. It's basically who can connect with something meaningful first. The cool thing about having True Name Nemesis is that I'm not just dead to this thing connecting. Like, if I ever connect with my Jitte, they lose on the spot. But I can fight through a Jitte in a way that they can't. Alright, now uncounterable humans. My hand is well set up to ignore a cavern. Also, another good thing about this position is that Palace Jailer sucks. Like, if normally I'm pretty scared of a Palace Jailer, but because I already have True Name and I can immediately take the Monarch back, like, I'm just not worried about it. Sanctum Prelate would be kind of annoying. Like, if it names one, then it's on hard mode for the rest of the game. Alright, so they don't have a human to cast. It was just a proactive naming humans. Whoa, that's aggressive. Alright, so I'm going to get to Swords to Plowshares of this Mother of Runes, which I'm pretty excited about. And then the True Name should be able to take over pretty easily from there. Hopefully I can draw a basic land along the way too. I really hope they don't have another Mom, but it would be really poor if they tapped this cavern to cast another Mom. I didn't block there because they were likely going to kill off the Stoneforge anyway. Alright. What's the name? Jace. Okay. Alright, so I'm actually feeling just fine here. What's up, Minifer? Wow, that was a good draw. Alright, so I'm going to clear out the Thalia first. And then I can brainstorm, and maybe I don't have to play out this Tundra. Alright, sweet. We did it. We avoided playing Tundra. Alright, Batterskull can go back in the deck. So can Tundra. Now we have a mono basic mana base set up here. And I have another True Name and a Palace Jailer and Stoneforge ready to rock here. All right, I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, connecting with that aggressive Jitte seemed really poor. And I'm not a Death and Taxes expert. I just don't think that line was particularly good. Drawing another basic land would be sweet, because then we can True Name and Stoneforge. This is probably the Batterskull, unless they main deck a Sword of Fire and Ice. Then I have a real problem to deal with. Alright, they do have a Sword of Fire and Ice. Good to know. It's probably coming into play immediately. Nope, nope, just Rethalia. Alright. Okay, yeah, I think it's pretty standard. All right, so if I Palace Jailer, what happens? I can take Thalia. I become the Monarch for a turn. They'd have to suicide attack to get the Monarch back, and then I can just crunch with True Name forever after that. Or I could just play another True Name, but then I'm under the gun to this Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, this is a super standard out to True Name. All right, here's Palace Jailer. This is kind of bold, but I'm into it. I'm going to get this Thalia out of play. I'm going to get to draw an extra card. Hopefully they're going to have to make like a big suicide attack, lose a bunch of resources just to get the Monarch back. And then I can take it back anyway. All right, Batterskull, just what I needed. Batterskull is actually not a bad draw because we can brainstorm it away and then immediately get it. There are no bad draws when brainstorm's in your deck. You can put them all away. All right, cool. So if they use Stoneforge to put Sword into play, I guess they had to. They couldn't cast it. That means they can't even connect and get the Monarch back this turn. So I can just block with Palace Jailer and then vote the Sword off with Council's Judgment. Did they not main deck Council's Judgment? I feel like they should. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's something that you don't actually want in your deck. All right, so easy chump block there. All right, so now I get to brainstorm. All right, so I can brainstorm. I do want to hit land drops. All right, it is not meant to be. No more land drops. All right, so I'll get rid of... I'll put these two back. Then vote Sword of Fire and Ice off the island. I am still going to lose the Monarch, but I'm going to eat a creature to do it. And then I'm just going to take it right back and cast another True Name. Yeah, I know they have Judgment after board. All right, I have Force of Will up now for any non-human thing they want to cast. Oh no. They drew a human. Or are they just equipping? It's hard to say. Bummer. All right, Force of Will's off the table. The good news is that Thalia is what I stole with the Monarch token. So they're going to lose a card when they become the Monarch. So it's like they didn't get a creature back. So this Monarch token is gonna, the Monarch emblem is gonna become Howling Mine for a while, but my True Name Nemesises should be able to eventually take over, like break that parity, because they're gonna lose a creature every time they take the Monarch back, and I'm not. So they get their Thalia back, then they lose the one they just cast. So that attack, casting this Thalia was pretty bad. That's just -1 card. So I know my top card is not a land. So I can attack, take the Monarch back, cast the second True Name, and still have Force of Will up through the Thalia. Sam the Man 68, thanks for the follow. All right, equipping Jitte. I don't care about that. Not one bit. His true name blocks all the same. All right, time to bash. Become the king again. I do have to mind my life total though. I am at 12. And we could just like howling mine back and forth until I'm at 0. And they're not. I do need to hit some land drops though, like eventually. Sooner than later, I hope. Spell Pierce is an easy feed to force a will. Alright, cashed in their land drop right away for a card. That means they didn't have a better thing to play yet. Noteworthy. And if I ever draw Jitte, we just do it because I have True Name Nemesis now, and they can't deal with that. If this is a flying creature, alright, it's not. Alright, so they're going to Alpha Strike. I think his list is really good. I made some changes to my list based on his stuff. I do just think it's good stuff. Stoneforge Mystic. That one's too good. Can Force of Will. Will Force of Will. I'm on 4 main deck True Names now, and I'm main decking the Vendilion Click. I didn't go to his mana base because I do think that mine is better. Oh, baby. Alright, so the third True Name should shut the door pretty hard unless they have a flying creature. Yeah, like this parade of True Names is pretty sick. Yeah, I already wasn't playing Back to Basics though, so I like that he did that. I also tilted my sideboard heavily towards control decks. Alright, fine. They should just have Batterskull left in their deck. Alright, there it is. They are not going to be able to become the Monarch this turn unless they do something super sneaky. Yeah, I'm still playing Caracas, and I like the Click too. Alright, so this is probably going to turn off... what are they even going to name? Batterskull? Like, they have a Jitte in play. Alright, they're just backing up Jace. That's fair. Alright, now I get to keep the Monarch for the first time in forever. Alright, and I get to do this cool thing where I put Umezawa's Jitte in my hand, which should take over the game right away next turn when I connect with it. But I'm going to hold up Counterspell for now. They have 4 attackers. Yeah, I am not the beatdown yet. I'm still the control deck. Next turn I can become the beatdown. Swords of Plowshares is a good one. Over Schadenport. That's a good card. Alright, they've determined that I won. Oh shit, shit. I just hit submit deck without actually changing anything. Hold up, Moto. I don't actually want that to happen. All right, Disenchant's good. Force of Will is not great. I like having some in the deck. Spell Pierce is terrible. Priest is playable. Just, do we want to cut anything else for it? I don't think so. I need Engineered Explosives in the deck. And Vendilion Click's a little wonky. Actual counterspell. Alright, I like this version. Yeah, I wanted to... Yeah, I wanted to leave the white open in case I drew a white card off the Monarch. I think so. Like, every time you move a card, the submit button becomes like, opens back up. I hope I'm not just playing my main deck again. That would be unfortunate. We may never know. Look at this hand. I'm going to keep this. Brainstorm fixes everything. Like, the way you lose to Death and Taxes is they squeeze off your mana. And right here I have 5 basic mana sources available. Alright, this means Aether Vial's coming. Yeah, they wouldn't keep a Wasteland Go hand. Alright, so I'll play the Plains. That opens me up a little bit. Yeah, Brainstorm's guaranteed going to draw 3 lands. Playing that Plains was wrong. This should be a fetch land. Just straight up incorrect. Alright. The Fairy Deck Mother is helping me here. Like, I should have played the Flooded Strand last turn so I could Brainstorm, put away one of the basic planes, then fetch it for this Mother of Runes right now. Or they just don't have Mother Runes. I'll also accept that. They kept a Sketcher. Oh, they were on a very small number of cards. They mulliganed pretty far down. They mulled to 5. Alright, that makes sense. It's a Revoker or a Chalice? It's a Chalice, alright. Alright, Force of Will. Yeah! I was just going to say Force of Will would be a great draw. And it was. Alright, so important question. I think I have to pitch the True Name. Because, like, this hand sucks without Brainstorm. Oh, it's for 0. Shit! You're right. I just got tricked. Yeah, double oops. Yeah, I did not care about Chalice for 0. Looks like we both punted that one. Alright, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and just... I'll call that fair. In real life, that would have been on 1. Yeah, my opponent also just pointed out that Chalice was on 0 by accident. Alright, so if this is Thalia, I'm going to want to Brainstorm in response. If it's Stoneforge, I'm not going to care. Alright, I'll just let him have it. If it is Thalia, I still get to Brainstorm. Okay, Stoneforge doesn't matter. See what they go for. Jitte is castable, but Batterskull is their best threat if they find a white source. Alright, Sword of Fire and Ice. I don't really want them to have that card. Get away, get away. Alright, our hand is starting to look functional. I'm going to plow this before they can Flicker Wisp it. If we can clear this vial, like if we draw Disenchant, we're just fucking Fonzie. Yeah, Prelate was scary, but I didn't want to brainstorm in response there. Like I have lots of non-one mana cards I can play. Speaking of... Alright, so now we have a really interesting decision to make. I could cast Chalice of the Void for 1 mana. Like for 1 Sunburst. I have to pay 2 mana because of Prelate. I think I'm going to do that. Alright, and just clear out this vial, because their hand is clearly super awkward. I'll have to find another way to deal with this Prelate, but I can't get to 3 colors anyway, so just blowing up vial is going to be clutch here. Yeah, I should cast it on 0 and have them force it. That's the true puncher's chance. I appreciate that. Fuck! White land. Alright, hopefully they don't cast Sword of Fire and Ice this turn. Because I'm not prepared for it. Bummer. They could not be fooled. Uh-oh. We're about to get beat down by the Sword of Fire and Ice. Yuck. This is brutal. They managed to thread the needle. Yeah, I had to do that last turn. I had to clear the vial while they seemed mana screwed, but like they just drew the land right away. I could have ambush vipered with Snapcaster last turn if I didn't pop the vial. But that I can't imagine that's actually right. Alright, so I gotta draw a Supreme Verdict or Council's Judgment right now. Jace the Mind Sculptor, what do you do? You draw cards. Nice. Alright, so Island goes into the deck, and Snapcaster goes into the deck, I think. Yeah, I'm going to put Snapcaster on top, and I'm not going to shuffle. I have Force of Will. They can put me to 2 this turn if they want to ignore Jace. They can kill Jace if they want to do that. Oh, this is a tight one, kids. Right, where's this going? It's going face. Face is the place. Oh, this is so tight. Oh, they shot Jace, though. That was a weird play. Why would they do that? It still doesn't kill him. I guess it draws them a card and softens the Jace. Karn Scion of Urza. What does that do? It draws cards? Alright, so I'm going to force this. And then I'm going to draw... Yeah, Karn gets forced is the answer. Then I'm going to draw a Snapcaster Mage. And then I'm gonna brainstorm with Jace first. So I have to, oh, so them shooting Jace means I can't bounce this and keep my Jace. So that was actually smart to shoot that. Even though if they shot me, I wouldn't be able to crack this fetch anymore. All right, so I'm gonna brainstorm act. Oh, it's so tough. My top card is Island, which I don't really want. Yeah, so what do I need to do here? Top card is Island. I'm just gonna brainstorm. All right, Wasteland. All right, this is actually pretty great. I don't want Wasteland or Island. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so I can Council's Judgment the Sanctum Prelate out of play. Then I can cast Stoneforge Mystic. And then Snapcaster is ready to Swords to Plowshares any nonsense in the future. And I'm going to lose my Tundra here because I'm out of basic planes to fetch, but I do want to cast this Stoneforge and get this online sooner than later. And I'm going to get Jitte. Alright, so the Snap Plow plus Jitte should get me out of most shitty situations here. Alright, they had a plow of their own. I'm back to 3. We're back on the board, team. I think the worst thing they can do to me is cast another Prelate and immediately equip Sword of Fire and Ice to it. I would not appreciate that. Ooh, now they have Wasteland and Port. They can take me off double white for the rest of the game. Yeah, we're still not out of the woods here. Like, if they just have... Like, Flicker Wisp is lethal. I can Snap Plow it, but, like... I'm going to need to kill every Flicker Wisp that comes into play for the rest of the game. Ew, Brightling. Yeah, I can't really beat that one either. Alright, so I can Snap Plow this on their turn. So I do get another spin out of Jace. Oh, that's nice. Oh, everything is coming up Fonzie. Arid Mesa has to fetch Tundra, so I don't even want it. And I'm not casting Jitte this turn. I could actually just kill Brightling. I could Council's Judgment. And I'm not shuffling yet. So I'm going to cast Council's Judgment and see if they want to bounce the Brightling in response, in which case I just get to eat the sword. All right, so I think I'm just going to plow this. I'm going to snap plow the Brightling in response to them bouncing it. And then I'm going to vote the sword out of the game. And then they have one card in hand facing down Jace Snapcaster. Ooh. They want to play dirty. All right, Brightling's gone. All right, so I'm going to leave up Snap Plow here. Yeah, I think my opponent definitely should have killed this Jace that turn where they could have and chose to hit me instead. Thalia would be the perfect card here, but I guess I drew a Plow. I can't Snap Plow if they Thalia. Jailerino. All right, so I am going to become the Monarch real quick here. I'm going to Snap Plow this thing. Yeah, those are those like regrettable plays for the rest of your life. All right, Snapcaster. They might just concede to this. I guess they can draw Swords to Plowshares right now off their Monarch trigger. It's now or never. And even if they hit, it's Monarch versus Jace. Did they hit? All right, nope. That was their one chance to win that game if they found Swords of Plowshares right there. All right, that was a hard-fought battle. Woo. Yeah, always kill Jace, always bolt Bird. All right, my opponent for the great Pauper face-off is messaging me. Yeah, so Trinium Nemesis is just such a house against these fair decks. Oh, look at our friend of the stream, Arkin, with an early trophy. We love Arkin. Arkin rules. Yeah, not killing Jace always a mistake. So this is the list that I'm playing right now. I kind of just smashed a bunch of cards from Daniel's list into the list I was playing. Made some changes in his direction, kept some things that I like personally. All right, before John gets set up with the Pauper face-off, I'm gonna go refill my drink. I will be right back. I've returned. Yeah, so my opponent not killing Jace last game was really questionable. I think if they don't kill Jace, then they should also just zap me. Though I guess 2 is the same as 3 as far as they know. Like, they didn't know I had Force of Will in hand. But it's... You should probably kill Jace whenever possible. I had a mono-red prison player once. I was playing Miracles, and I didn't have access to double white. I just had... I was under Blood Moon, and I had Island, Plains, Mountains. And I stuck a Jace, brainstormed, desperately looking for a second white source so I could Supreme Verdict all of their goblin tokens away. And they just went face with their goblins. Like, they had a pretty reasonable Rabblemaster army, but it wasn't lethal yet. And he just went straight face, put me to like 2 or 3, and just ignored Jace. And I brainstormed again, got a second brainstorm out of it, found the second white and the Supreme Verdict, and just easily won the game from there. So always kill Jace, unless your opponent is literally dead. They're never as good as dead if they still have Jace. Important life lessons. I have not heard anything from our Pauper commentary team yet. Kind of dubious to start another match, like with just 30 minutes. All right, whatever. Let's start another match. Fuck it. Oh, look at all these trophies coming in. All these great legacy heroes. So we'll fire another match. Hopefully it's not Miracles and doesn't take the full 50 minutes. Because I think they wanted to do this Pauper battle around 7. E.W. Landon, the great hero himself. Legacy legend, E.W. Landon. Alright, this hand is solid against all enemies. It's possible he's doing something broken. I know he's been messing around with combo decks with the London Mulligan lately. But this is about the only time ever that we're going to have the same amount of trophies. Like, we both have 0 currently because of the league rolled over today. I'm sure he's going to have like 9 by the time I go to bed tonight. Oh no, Badlands. Is this Grixis control? Are we fucked? Oh man, it's even worse. It's a Faithless Looting deck. Oh, it's just Black-Red Reanimator. NBD. Come on, Force of Will. So I can play this Flooded Strand in case I need to Swords to Plowshares. And then also cast Brainstorm. I guess I should have played Scalding Tarn if I was going to do that, because this deck can't mess with a Tundra. It's the same. Alright, so if he does go for a turn 2 Grizzlebrand here, I'll have to decide if I want to... Alright, I was going to say I'm going to have to decide if I want to Brainstorm or just look for a Force of Will. But I guess it doesn't matter. Alright, I'll Brainstorm now. Maybe he'll play weird, do something strange, I don't know. Oh, there's the Force of Will, perfect. Alright, so the good news is that he's going to have to take this Force of Will with this Unmask. The bad news is he's going to get a Grizzlebrand, but I get to plow it. Whatever, resolves. Didn't have a second Force. Yeah, there goes Force. And here comes Grizzlebrand. Let's hope he can't make me discard 2 more cards along the way. Maybe I should have put a plow on top just in case he goes for like double unmask right now. Yeah, there should definitely be a Swords of Plowshares on top of my deck right now. Uh-oh. Is a second monster coming? I really don't want to get second monstered. Fuck, we punted this so bad. I should have hit one of these on top. Yep, naming my plows. There they go. The good part of all this, though, is that this matchup's great. And after board, it gets better. Yeah, we're not winning. I know that my next draw step's a brick. Should have played that brainstorm better. Alright, so here come Tormod's Crypts. Surgical. Containment Priest, Flusterstorm. Don't think I want this other stuff. Alright, so Jailer's a little slow. Batterskull is... No, Jitte doesn't do anything. The Stoneforge package can use Shave Down. Swords to Plowshares is not great. It's also not terrible. I'm not getting rid of all of them. True Name is not great in this matchup. And I can get rid of a Wasteland, because that also doesn't do anything. Alright, let's battle. Being on the play matters a lot. I would like to play first. I would like to keep this insane hand. This hand needs another land real bad, but other than that, this is everything we want. Come on, land. Land, 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 land. Let's do it, land. Oh no, the upkeep fetch. They're gonna get me somehow. Land. Entomb, huh? Let's deny that. Still have Force of Will. No worries. We draw a land where we can never lose. Shit. Alright. Brainstorm will certainly find us a land, right? That's how cards work. Looting. Do I force Faithless Looting? Probably should. Can't reanimate a monster that's not in the graveyard, right? Alright, we're both playing on... Oh, Jesus. Alright, so I'll put Flusterstorm back on top, because I can't cast it this turn anyway. Alright, there's Caracas. Save me, Caracas. Next turn I can Stoneforge with my counterspells back up, though. Oh no. They know the coast is clear. They just get Sire of Insanity, I probably lose. Oh, Grizzlebrand? Okay. Okay. Hope I'm not dead. They're at 5 and I have Caracas. And you can almost certainly put another monster into play with this way. Yeah, if this was a blue land, we just easily win. It is interesting that he took Council's Judgment, though. Like, that's what he's worried about. I got another one of those coming. Archetype of Endurance. Yuck. I don't want all that. Alright, I've been unmasked again. Alright, so Flusterstorm is the card I'm drawing, which doesn't help me against Flusterstorm doesn't help against Animate Dead. Whatever. Let's go. Batterskull. I don't have a better plan here. Just hope that Exhume is their plan. God, double Animate Dead would be a huge pain in the ass. All right. The creatures are back. Because they're going to have to pass the turn with any legend they get back anyway. And I would prefer to just keep these cards out of play. Sheesh. The Archetype of Endurance is actually going to do it here. Wow. I've never seen this actually work before in my life. Snapcaster Mage, what do you do? Nothing? Nothing at all? I guess that makes sense. Yeah, like, that would have stopped Archetype. Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair. I'm willing to believe I fucked that up. Yeah, so they have to animate two things and have a discard spell for me to get punished there. But I guess that's likely to do because they drew 15 on the previous turn. Yeah, I'm totally willing to believe. Like, in retrospect, obviously, Caracas would have been better to leave up. Yeah, in, like, the way this has gone so far, nothing matters at all. Like, I just got screwed on blue earlier. Like, on that turn 3, if my Brainstorm hit a blue land instead of 2 white lands, we just easily win. Alright, so what do I do here? If I attack, they just block, but I gain 4, 7. Does this creature have trample? No, it has hexproof. Ugh. Yeah, I can't even brainstorm out of this. Yeah, I'm just dead. That sucks. This matchup is so hilariously good. Oh, right on time, Tormod script. Alright, let's see. Did we get... Still haven't heard anything from the Pauper people. We're going into another match. Yeah, so if I leave up Caracas, they just make Chancellor and Archetype instead. Oh, what's up, Titan? How is it going, Titan? Like, are you guys ready to start soon? All right, just working out technical details. All right, is 7 o'clock still the start time? 18 minutes. All right, 18 minutes. What can I do in 18 minutes? All right, I can talk about my Pauper deck. I don't want to fire up another Legacy match for 18 minutes. Buggy B, GP Niagara was a great day one and a terrible day two for me. But I do think that the deck is strong, and all of my losses could have easily been wins if like I had a brainstorm first instead of them. You know, like it's one of those things. Oh, it's 7:20. You'll start my match. All right, I got 40 minutes. We're playing Legacy again. All right, into the Legacy match. So I think Stoneblade is good, and I think if you want to go over the top of the new Stoneblade meta, then you should be playing Miracles or a Broken Combo deck. All right, so I have Stoneforge Mystic and a Force of Will. I have no blue mana. No. All right, this hand's great. Yeah, in real life, I think people are going to be really into Stoneblade. I also think Edgar's deck from the top 8 is a huge reason to play a Broken Combo deck in the new meta. Like, Broken Combo can overpower Stoneblade, and it can just straight up embarrass those, like, 4-color Grind-a-Palooza decks. So after this match is going to be the finals of the Pittsburgh Pauper League, streamed live. If you haven't yet, follow the Titan Game Shop. They just commented in the chat. Follow them, because I'm going to be streaming my match and talking from my side, and they're going to be doing commentary about the match overall. So it's going to be double covered. I am playing against a Tron deck for the crown, and I'm playing blue-red control. We'll just take a quick foray into Pauperland and then come back to Legacy. Alright, so a blue land and a Caracas. This could very well be a mirror of some kind. It seems likely. In which case it sucks, because this is probably a Stoneforge. Oh, it's a Rest in Peace. Yeah, I barely care about that. My hand does contain 2 Snapcaster Mages, which is pretty awkward. But in general, I don't care a whole lot about that. Oh god, now I have all 3. Now I care a lot, suddenly. Alright, I'm going to brainstorm instead of casting Stoneforge there. Do we think this is a Wasteland deck? Probably not. I'm just going to get my Velocity and Ponder. Alright, Force of Will is probably going to be good. Because I'm going to have to beat an Energy Field or Helm of Obedience eventually. So in the Pauper League, I'm playing Is It Control. I'm playing against the Blink Tron combo Tron. I am undefeated in the league all the way to the finals. 5-0 in the Swiss, and then won my top 4 match. And my opponent, his only loss has been to me. All right. I don't want this land that's coming next. I do want a clock. Stoneforge or Snapcaster is an easy pitch to Force of Will. All right, I'm gonna let him have that because I have another one coming. I'm gonna need to counter whatever their combo piece is. I don't care about my threats sticking just yet. Meddling Mage. Do I care? I guess if they name Force of Will, that could be annoying. Like if they want to make sure that their combo sticks. Alright, they named True Name Nemesis. Alright. Nice. Stoneforge. I'm just going to double Stoneforge here. I'm going to do it all. Go get him, team. Alright, yeah, that's why I played the second one. Because the first one's easy to answer. That was another 2-for-1. So they cast Force of Will already this game. That was a 2-for-1 for me. And then they just plowed a Stoneforge Mystic. That's another 2-for-1 for me. Monastery Mentor. That card is not beatable. Alright, so let's hope their last card in hand is not Helm of Obedience. And that they don't draw a land. Those are the two things I want to happen right now. Alright, surprise beatdowns. Yeah, this is a faster clock. God, is your last card Helm? I'm not interested in life anymore if that's the case. Energy Field would also be annoying, but not nearly as bad. All right, yeah, I don't care about these beats. I can remove one counter. Oh, another one. Okay, what's your plan? The Crispicula aggro deck. The Rest in Peace Crispicula. Combo party. Alright, so I'm going to bash for extra damage. Then I'm going to kill this other Meddling Mage. And cast Batterskull. And hope that they don't draw Helm. If they cantrip into Helm, that's not the worst. Alright, they still don't have Helm. Is it time to block yet? It is. All right. I'm not going to play my land because there's no reason to bluff Force of Will because I'm dead anyway. Like, they just have to jam. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, don't care. DGAF. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And Snapcaster Mage for the win through the Rest in Peace. We even drew Force. Got there. Had him covered. I like the search for his Cantor Rest in Peace combo. That's tight. Bam. Alright, we defeated this. I only have one disenchant on my board. I usually play 2. So I feel a little more exposed than normal here. And I don't even know. Like, my sideboard doesn't actually do anything. Explosives and disenchant are good. Jailer's probably insane. How does this deck ever beat a Jailer? Click's got to be good. I saw Mentor. Oh, I saw Mentor, yeah. Supreme Verdict can come in. Spell Pierce looks pretty good. I don't know. If they're just going to, like, Meddling Mage my true names, maybe I need to shave on those. Snapcaster Mage is worse than normal. let's do it like that. And cut a wasteland because mana denial is not really my plan. Let's have another easy one like that. That was nice. That was nice and smooth. All right, this hand is mono white. It doesn't work for me. This hand is no lands at all. All right, this one's a caper. I have to put 2 of these back into my deck. Jailer and Verdict, I think, are the answers. Spell Pierce is probably good. They're going to play some 2-drop. Like a Rest in Peace or a Search. So if you just tuned in, follow Titan Game Shop, TAITANGAMESHOP, because they will be streaming my Pauper match coming up next, the Pittsburgh Finals, with complete commentary. I'll also be streaming it, so you can hang out with me as well. Like, I don't really care about this, but, like, I don't think their deck functions without it. Okay, that's sweet. If they care enough to force of will it, then I'm glad it happened. All right, so I'm just going to play an Explosives on 2 and hope it doesn't get disenchanted. All right, they're F6'd over there. So don't care about Energy Field because Explosives kills that too. They're still several turns away from killing me with Helm. Oh, and they're missing land drops, so that's cool too. I'm going to get my clock on. Like, they passed the turn, they did literally nothing last turn. Maybe they kept his hand on the strength of the Energy Field combo, and now they just have nothing. I also have nothing now, but my nothing's a lot better than theirs currently. Unless things change. A Mentor would change the clock pretty quickly. Okay, cool. They went for the combo. Ugh, I really wanted a Brainstorm there. I hope they can't just rebuild the combo. Like if they have another Rest in Peace and another Energy Field. They just had to play into that 2-for-1 though because I was clocking them. All right, it's coming back. Yes, praise Allah, Brainstorm for life. Do you have a force of will? Nope. All right, so I'll put these 2 back. Council's Judgment can clear out an Energy Field. Can also clear out a Mentor. I can also bounce Mentor. They have a Judgment of their own, that's fine. They have to answer Jace and not True Name. All right, resolves. I guess it's interesting. Like, do they think they're actually going to die from damage? I mean, they have to take Jace, right? I would. Yeah, okay. So my top card is Stoneforge Mystic, which I don't really want. That's sweet. Trusty old counterspell. I'm going to get Batterskull so I can leave up the counterspell without being suspicious. About your endgame ticket, are you coming with us tomorrow night? I also have an endgame ticket. Humility. No, 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 no. Oh, 10 a.m. on Friday. Yeah, we're going tomorrow night in Monroeville. Speaking of which, everyone, I have endgame tickets for tomorrow night. I'm super stoked. All right, I'm going to vote this Rest in Peace off the board just to make sure that I don't lose immediately. Like, if their last cards in hand are like land Helm, I don't want to just die. Yeah, we're going at 10 p.m., which is like fake release. Oh, yeah. You might be right. Yeah, if I Violet in, activate. Yeah. Could have attacked for lethal there. Chose not to. Busy narrating. Magic is hard. Wasteland. All right, that was not Wasteland. All right, so the shields are up. They have energy field, but no Rest in Peace. If I Force of Will anything, I win. So if a card would go to their graveyard from anywhere, you have to sack this. So they can't play fetch lands, they can't play cantrips, they can't play any card except Rest in Peace. Yeah, it's way easier to play Magic when you're not also narrating Magic and managing, talking to the chat and everything. And it's cool. I accept that small percentage loss to stream. Tokens do go to the graveyard, but they're not cards. Yes, it specifically says cards have to go to the graveyard. You can also just draw a disenchant and win immediately. Huh. Spell Snare is probably good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1. All right. So now I have Force of Will and Spell Snare if they go for a Rest in Peace, which is the only card they can actually play. Yeah, sometimes things like there's an interaction where if your opponent is on Dredge and they have Leyline of the Void and one of your tokens dies, their bridges are exiled because Leyline specifically says if a card would go to the graveyard from anywhere. All right, so this game's getting weird. Is it time? Splat, 2 for 1, kid. Go home. Like, even if they force this, then their energy field dies. So what would they have to do? They would have to cast this Rest in Peace. And then also have another energy field. I am not going to pay for any of these. I'm going to let their Flusterstorm go to the graveyard, kill their energy field, and then they can have Rest in Peace. And then I'll just force whatever they do next. If they have anything at all. Energy field triggers itself. That's so funny. All right, so if they have another energy field and another Flusterstorm, then their combo is online. All right, the odds are getting worse of that happening. Oh, they topped a card. That's terrifying. They left a card on top, then conceded. All right. You got me, opponent. And by got me, I mean I win. All right, so let's prepare for the Pauper battle. Everyone tuning in right now, you're here for Legacy, but you get bonus Pauper. This is the finals of the Pittsburgh Pauper League. There is all manner of cash and fame on the line right now. I'm going to have to dig up my opponent's deck list from deep in the bowels of our Pauper group. So Puncher's Chance. This is a control deck. This deck is built on getting 2-for-1s, like 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1, a million for 1, 2 for 1. Foil is a -3 for 1. Stu, it doesn't matter if it's boring if you win all your matches. Currently completely undefeated. This is a deck of my design. You'll notice there are no Delvers in it. This is it Control? This is not Is it Delver? But it doesn't there's not really any specific thing in Pauper that's worth hemorrhaging 3 cards. So this deck, 4 hard counter spells. You can gum up the board with Augurs. You can kill Ulamog's Crusher with Scred. What are they going to cast that's worth discarding 3 cards to counter? And you can't get any value off it. Like the blue-black Delver deck, it discards those 3 cards, but then that's +3 mana for Gurmag Angler. That deck is built well to punish. This is not an aggressive deck. The games go very long and they're very fun. Yeah, if they discard those, then they lose their energy field too. That is true. Of course, our Pauper League is just run out of this Facebook group, so I just need to scroll until I find the deck list announced, because they're not organized in any sort of way where it's easy to find them. My opponent is responsible for almost all the posts. Is this even the right one? No, that's the wrong group. And there's 2. There's MTG Paupers of Pittsburgh, then there's Pittsburgh Paupers. So everything is fucked. Yeah, officially fucked. All right. Yes. I somehow remembered that this post started with the words "at long last." All right, so I'm playing against Zach. Zach is on Rainbow Tron. There he is. All right, so his win conditions, he has 4 Wretched Gryphs, which is pretty good. Zach harms. So this list has very few win conditions. It's focused on the control and combo. I like this Zach too, though I don't know who the good Zach actually is. Zach McAdoo is probably the best Zach. Zach Duncan is also a powerful Zach, but he's in India right now. All right, yeah, we agree on top tier Zach is definitely McAdoo. All right, we'll talk about this list in a second. I just keep drinking and peeing, drinking and peeing. That's all I do all night. I'll be right back. Time to pee some more. right, I'm back. So the way that you beat these Tron decks, so with the blue-red control, Tron is actually super positive. Like, I'm pretty excited to play against Tron all the time. And the reason is that, look at this list. Like, they have very few things that actually matter or do anything. They have a lot of really fancy looking cards like Stonehorn Dignitary and like Seagate Oracle and like these Prohibits and Ghostly Flickers and Mystical Teachings. Like, those all look pretty cool, but they don't actually do anything. Like, Wretched Griff and Ulamog's Crusher are the only 5 cards in their whole deck that actually do anything. And I just need to keep those off the table until they die. So they have 5 actual threats, and I have 4 Screds for the Griffs. I have 4 counterspells for the Crusher, and I just need to keep bashing through Muldrifters along the way. Like, and I have all these 1-power creatures, these like little value creatures that come into play before they even get Tron set up, and they get to just pick and peck away until the opponent dies. And you just need to keep them from sticking one of their real threats, of which they don't play very many. He's got 1 Electrickery in the main deck to watch out for, and 1 Rolling Thunder hidden down here under the lands. All right, so there's 6 real cards in the deck. Got to just make sure I don't die to Rolling Thunder and don't get Ulamog's crushed. And other than that, it's pretty elementary, just dismantling these decks. He's got a COP blue in the sideboard. You got to watch out for that. Then a bunch of gut shots. Wow, that's aggressive. Yeah, so gut shots, Pyroblast. He's probably not bringing in Hydroblast because it doesn't matter. But yeah, COP blue, Serrated Arrows. Got some stuff out of the sideboard, but the main deck is pretty clean plan. Just don't let one of these 6 things that matter happen. All right, I'm going to message Zach to make sure he is ready to battle. All right. All right, I'm messaging Zach right now. John requested that I have a different screen set up, so I'm going to go to that. So nothing is overlapping now for our match. You'll be able to see everything. So this is the main deck. This is the correct deck. I usually main deck an Electrickery and have 2 relics in the board, but I thought for the league that relic would be better, and I was right. Played against a Tortured Existence deck and multiple Tron decks. Constructed open play, getting serious. All right, so I hope you're all over on Titan Game Shop's Twitch listening to their pregame show. I am not able to do that because I am in the match. But pretty soon, we're going to do it. And I'm the top seed. So I get to go first. So, funny story. I played my top 4 match also on Magic Online, and I was the top seed in that match, and my opponent won the die roll. And instead of like just choosing to draw, we decided we would scrap the game and rejoin until I won a die roll, because we're very smart individuals. Yeah, we rejoined the game like 6 times. My opponent won 5 consecutive die rolls, and we were like, "Oh man, you're so lucky! What a waste of time." Turns out there's an option to just not play first, built right into the game. Oh, this is also going to be London Mulligans. That's slightly scary that my opponent's on Tron. No other match in this league has been played with London Mulligans. So that's kind of lame, actually. Fucking Tron. But that's all right. We'll just beat him anyway. Yeah, against Tron, I just load up on counter spells. So like their win conditions are already taxed by my efficient removal. And once I bring in like the Pyroblast and Hydroblast and stuff, like they're just, it gets really hard for them to resolve anything that matters. And Stormbound Geist is a rock star. This card in Pauper is basically this card. I like that True Name is right here representing Pauper. Might as well. This card's really hard to kill, and when you kill it, it just comes back. Like, countering this thing is the only clean answer in the whole format to it. Though there is a new card in War of the Spark. It's a black and 2. It's an instant. Its target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. If it dies, exile it. So a clean instant speed answer to Stormbound Geist is getting printed in the new set. Yep. Hope you're all getting stoked on that pregame show over at Titan Games. Just a bunch of waiting currently. I play more lands, like actual lands, than most decks. Most Izzet control decks. Like I have 10 islands and 3 mountains. It's usually like 9 and 2 and then more fetch lands. But I like having my lands come into play untapped. And I like having the 3rd mountain, because sometimes you really need to just like land bolt on turn 1 or 2, which is really hard to set up if you only have the 2 mountains and the fetch land mana base. I also really like on like turn 2, if I don't have a land drop, I want to be able to brainstorm into an untapped land and then cast Augur the same turn. On like turn 3, when I've already made 2 land drops and don't have another. Like just having lands that come into play untapped, ready to battle, it's pretty important. Alright, so I'm going to set this up. Going to make sure we have maximum time. There are no draws in the league. We battle. Watchers are allowed in this match if you want to watch. If watching on stream isn't good enough and you want to tune in Magic Online, there it is. So stick around for more Legacy after this. We'll battle the rest of this Legacy League after the Pauper match is concluded. Look at the counter spells in this deck. It's like two Power Sink, 1 Exclude, 1 Prohibit, 2 Condescend. Not a whole lot of counter magic, actually. Alright. Zach also streams Pauper sometimes, so check out his channel. Hopefully he will. It's Comrade Zach. All right, John, if you're watching, if you're listening, we're ready when you are. Oh man, this waiting is such a sweat. These are big stakes. We all bought into the league for $10, and the dollars are on the line. It's a casual league. John decided to make a huge production out of the finals, and it's fun. I'm into it. Yeah, the Yellow Dark was also a member of this league. What's up, Dylan? We also played our match live on my stream. It was sweet. He did not assemble any of the engines that his deck relies on, and I destroyed him. He had the sweetest deck in the league, though. He had the black-white Grim Harvest deck. That deck is serious. Serious grind-a-palooza. All right, what's up, everyone? Tuning in from the Titan channel. This is my deck. I've been talking about it for like the last 15 minutes. But basically my plan against Zach is make sure that he doesn't resolve one of his 6 relevant cards while I pick and peck him to death with 1-power creatures. He has 6 relevant cards. He has 4 Wretched Gryphs, 1 Ulamog's Crusher, and 1 Rolling Thunder. I just want to make sure none of those things happen to me. I will tolerate all sorts of other nonsense along the way, as long as those things don't happen to me. I can't wait to get Lightning Bolt out of my deck. That one is not good in the main deck. Not good in the matchup. But luckily I have Brainstorm, which can get rid of bad cards. All right, what do you need from Zach, John? He and I are here in the game, ready. All right, yeah. Last time I played against Zach. Basically, what I described happened. I think he failed to get Tron together in one of our games, which made it basically a layup. But in the games that we actually played, I think he might have stolen game 1 because I have these like Lightning Bolts and dead cards instead of all these Pyroblasts and good cards in my deck. But the game that we actually went back and forth in a lot, like I stuck some early threats, they chipped in for damage, and I just kept them off balance for as long as it took. All right, it sounds like we got the go-ahead. I am on the play since I was top seed. Zach won the die roll, so I'm waiting for him to tell me that he's choosing to draw. All right, off we go. This hand has lands and cantrips, and I'm going to keep it. So one thing I noticed, for those of you just tuning in, that I talked about a little bit, is that Magic Online is using the London Mulligan right now, which is kind of a bummer that my opponent's on Tron and gets to use the London Mulligan. But he kept 7, so it didn't matter. Didn't matter this game. But what I've noticed from playing Legacy is that the cantrip decks get a lot worse in the London Mulligan world, because the card, like, mulliganing to 6 is kind of like casting Faithless Looting, like in like a weird convoluted way. Don't quote me on that. Like, that's not real science. But it is Ugh. I don't want any of this shit. Alright, cool. So I get to search up another island and then cast a bunch of cantrips next turn. So, like, my deck, the power of blue is that I get to do all this, this cantripping. Like, I get to just see more cards than an opponent, and that gives me my advantage. But, like, the do something big quickly decks usually don't get to cantrip, but the mulligan is kind of like the ultimate cantrip. It's like casting Windfall. It's fucked up. Alright, Fairy Miscreant is kind of what I'm looking for, but I don't want these other cards. So I'm going to shuffle this Ponder again. Alright, that's perfect. So I get to cast Spellstarter Sprite if he goes for like an expedition map or anything. That's like the best target in the whole deck. Oh, he has 2 Tron pieces ready. And if he just has nothing, I'm still going to run this out to start getting my clock on. It kind of sucks that I am just like not ready at all for a Crusher. Like I don't have a counter spell. If he does something big and busted next turn, like even Wretched Griff might be too good for me right now. Right, Condescend for 1, that's fine. He gets to scry too, but getting Condescend out of his hand now is fine. Bottomed. We get to do the best thing in Pauper. Float 2, Gush. Awesome. Alright, so I think I have to top this, as much as I don't really want to. Top. Then I'll draw the counter spell. Ponder. Alright, finally an Augur Bolus. Alright, and I have to go to discard too. I'll discard this Ash Barrens. Yeah, that was not ideal. Let's hope he doesn't just jam Tron and kill me this turn. Like, my shields are down, for sure. Oh, there it is. The turn 4 Tron. What's he going to do with it? I hope it's just a Muldrifter. Okay. I can pick this off. He has Ghostly Flicker. That sucks. Alright, everything is going poorly. As poorly as possible here. Oh, Prohibit's good. That's fine. It's not Ghostly Flicker. I'll take it. Is there a reason my opponent's in the chat list for coverage? I don't know. I don't think he's ghosting. I think he is just also streaming and talking to John. Brick City. All right. Everything that can go wrong has so far. I'm going to leave up this Dispel, though. Like, I don't want to get Ghostly Flickered. Oh, am I getting crushed? I am getting crushed. All right, so what can I do about this Crusher? He plays 1 of this card for reference, just for anyone who wonders why I didn't leave up Counterspell that turn, because he plays literally 1. It's a 1 of. And it was just in the top quarter of the deck. All right, so I need to find another Scred and another red source before my opponent annihilates any of my lands. not going well. All right, we're halfway there. All right, so I'm gonna sacrifice Augur and Miscreant. And I'm gonna take 10. And then I have to draw a Scred next turn. Yeah, when they just have Tron right on time, obviously the deck is much better than not. Like, there was no expedition map involved there. It was just straight up 1, 2, 3 Tron. I don't care about Seagoid Oracle. Not yet, anyway. All right, we just got to find a Scred. Let's go Scred. And we're right back at it. Scred, Scred, Scred. Oh, Ninja. Could still be a Scred. All right, and I have Dispel up, so I can protect this thing once. I have to... This has to connect. It has to draw Scred. I guess Bolt's good enough, too. All right, is there any way out of this now? If I sacrifice... I guess I could still sacrifice Island. If I sacrifice Miscreant and Island, or Island and Ninja and block with Miscreant, I'm technically not dead yet. All right, let's just draw a Scred and show him what's what. Not that his 5 cards in hand matter at all. Play like he's got nothing. If he puts another 2 power into play, we're just dead even if we draw perfectly. All right, halfway there. Oh, this fucking Crusher. Yuck. Scred? Alright, we're dead. Good game. Yeah, my opening hand needed cantrips to get there, and I just did not. Alright, so Lightning Bolt goes right out. Relic is good. Every Pyroblast comes in. Hydroblast. I need the Echoing Truths because he has... Like, this bounces Crusher. He also has Circle of Protection blue, which I don't really want to play against. Annul is good because it can ruin his maps or prismatic lenses, or whatever that card is. I think it's prismatic lens, right? Prophetic Prism, my bad. Alright, he's going to have 3 Pyroblast. Here's the list. He's going to have 3 Pyroblast. He might bring in Gut Shot. I don't think it's good, but he could do it. Rolling Thunder. Then Electrickery. There's not a whole lot of great targets for Hydroblast here. So Screds all stay in. I gotta cut 6 cards, yuck. That's so many. Alright, so Miscreant gets worse. Dispel's still good. We go 1 less Ninja because he's pretty good at coming up the ground. Alright, I gotta cut 1 more card. Oh, this is tough. I forget what I did last time we played. Maybe I didn't bring in both relics? That seems bad. Geist is really good too. Everything's so good. And maybe one less Scred. Alright, yeah, because I have more counter spells now. One less Scred seems fine. Alright, keepable. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to ponder first. Like I could just set up my mana and cast Relic plus Ponder next turn. But I want to Ponder, make sure I can get an Augur or a Spell Stutter, like some kind of early threat available. Alright, there's the Augur. No shuffle. Alright, so that worked out well, hitting the Annul there, because now I can spend next turn cracking my Terramorphic Expanse for red, which means I don't have to draw that other Terramorphic Expanse, and I still get to use my mana. Like, all their best turn 2 plays are artifacts. Like, if he goes for Map or Prism here, I'm just going to snap it off. Instead, he chooses to go for nothing. Bold strategy, Cotton. All right, it's Augur time. This is playing straight into many of his counterspells, unfortunately. But I can pay for Power Sink or Condescend. It has to be... All right. So he's just going for the Scry 2 there. It also taps me out of Annul. Though if he's playing around Annul, he has the biggest galaxy brain on the entire planet. Topped with Condescend. Yuck, bricked again. These are the worst Augurs in history. Alright, so next turn I can play Relic and still hold up Counterspell. Oh, look at that. Snuck right around the Annul. Well played or something. Ooh, re-Augur. I'm not going to play this second Augur this turn. I don't want to just die to a Crusher. I'm fine getting this Relic online, though. Like, as soon as I draw a fourth land, I can play Augur with Counterspell backup, and then we're just going off. Yeah. You have the Red Blast to go with it? He does. All right, so I'm going to have to Echoing Truth plus counter this thing again. This is also a 1-of, by the way. Just top 12 cards, there it is. But he missed his land drop to make this happen. All right, deck. Okay, cool. We got some action there, a little bit of play. Found the land. But the land means I have to shuffle away some stuff. All right, I have a bunch of counter spells. That's rough. So I could put Augur back. Now I really want Augur, and I just want every single one of these cards. That's not a good place to be. Guess I can put the Echoing Truth back. So I don't have to crack this Terramorphic Expanse. It's awkward because the land comes into play tapped and it'll stunt my development if I don't. But I don't want to just lose either. I could pop the Relic to do both. I think that's probably worth doing. Yeah, it's time to cash this in. Because I want the Echoing Truth, and I also need to hit my land drops. I can also do this cool thing now where Augur of Balls becomes Rashad Port. If he cares enough to activate Circle of Protection blue. Alright, so that damage is prevented. I'm going to cast this Augur. I'm leaving up blue because I can spell stutter anything he does right now. And I want to counterspell anything he does on his turn. Oh, Gush is a powerful magic card. And I'm currently not hitting land drops, so it's a good one to have right now. I only have 2 Echoing Truths, so I have to really make sure that this works when I go for it. Like, I want multiple counterspells back up. Just evoking a Muldrifter, probably. Alright, this is more aggressive than I'd usually get. Like, I'd normally save that for something that's going to kill me, but I have a ton of counterspells in hand, and he's currently stumbling on land drops. So I want to take advantage of that a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to attack and see if I can tap him out of this red mana before I try to do stuff. Alright, so I'm going to Echoing Truth the Circle of Protection now. So I have Counterspell, Spell Stutter, and or Pyroblast to protect this thing. Want to keep that out of play. Alright, this is working out pretty well. Unless he goes like Urza's power or Urza's Tower, cycle into white, make redeploy the Circle of Protection, like that would suck. But he would have had to draw exactly Tower this turn. Oh, Gut Shot, Jesus. Alright, that's why his hand sucks. Because it's full of bad cards. Alright, so if he draws a Tron land, he can redeploy the... Alright, it has to be Tower. If he draws Tower, he can redeploy the Circle of Protection right now. Just hope that doesn't happen. Jesus Christ. Alright. This is what happens when you play against Tron. They just fucking Mongoloid you. Like, I'll miss my land drop 6 turns in a row and then draw a Tower right when I need to. Alright, now we're back on defense. Alright, there's another Echoing Truth in the deck. Alright, finding Ash Barrens is pretty clutch. So I didn't need to do that yet. I should have waited and have more counter magic available. Is he on 61 cards or am I on 61 cards? Who's playing 61? Oh, a second Tower. Drew everything. And the Crusher. Alright, if I had not cycled my... Yeah, if I hadn't cycled my Ash Barrens, I could have dispelled this counterspell. Or, yeah, dispelled their Condescend. Yeah, I don't have 61 cards in my deck, unfortunately. Though my opponent does have 2 different one-ofs in their top 19 cards that they drew naturally without searching for. So good job, opponent. You've played well. All right, we're back on needing double scred. Oh, here's this right on time. Yeah, I think we've lost, everyone. They play a one-of Crusher, and he had it both games. I also didn't play by my own rules, so I probably deserve whatever I get here. Like, I could have just let him evoke all those Maul Drifters, fill his hand with cards. Oh, also Wretched Griff. I have Scred for that, but I need Scred for Crusher, or else I just lose. And we're dead. All right, unexciting finals there. A big brick. My opponent drew well. He's on Tron. If Tron draws well, what can you do? Ooh, I don't want to leave Magic Online. All right, let's play Legacy again. Yeah, the one-of Crusher that was just in his opening hand both times. Right on time. All right, let's play Legacy. So that matchup was, it's good on paper, but like if they sneak an 8/8 through your counter magic, there's not a whole lot you can do. You have to double scred it. All right, let's play this Legacy League now. Wow, this hand is like really good against exactly Death and Taxes. I'm gonna keep it. I'm here for the true name fights. Oh God. Come on, Wasteland. All right, so true name, the true name fight is not going to be great here. Matter Reshaper, okay. True name can handle that. I need these forces for bigger game. All right, so I'm not going to brainstorm yet. I can take 3 from this. I do want to plow it. Oh my God. Come on, Wasteland. And Swords to Plowshares. Or none of the above. All right, Jitte is actually really good against Eldrazi. I need exactly 4 lands. So this can go back. All right, maybe I do need to shuffle away the Jitte. Perfect. Upgraded it to a Batter Skull. Right, name you. I will block this Matter Reshaper, even though I understand that it gives them a potential land drop. I am not here to not block. Chalice of the Void is now in their hand, which I don't care much about because they're missing land drops. Discarding Endbringer, we love it. All right, I got a lot of answers to a lot of problems here. I wouldn't normally plus here, but I think I know exactly what they want. Like they just need, they're looking for land drops. And keeping them land screwed is like kind of not a real plan. That was asked a bunch already, but it's cool. Day one went really well. Day two went really poorly. And I think the deck is good, obviously, because it won the tournament. So it was a good choice for the weekend. I'm trying this build right now that's built a little differently than my build was. This is closer to Daniel's. Do I care about Thought Knot? No, because I can force it. All right. Yeah, so I force Thought Knot and then they die next turn. Got him. Oh yeah, they can't cast it, you're right. In my brain, Cloud Post just always taps for 10. Like whether it actually does or not. It just doesn't matter. Alright, so Supreme Verdict's a good one. Jailer's good. Disenchant's good. Engineered Explosives is good. This clears out Chalices. Alright, I don't... Alright, what's going on with the rest of these? Spell Pierce does not do a lot in this matchup. Swords of Plowshares is great. Spell Snare counters Chalice of the Void no matter what turn it is. Vendilion Click can fly. Jailer seems pretty sweet. Alright, what's the worst card that's left? Gotta cut 2 of these. This is only my 4th match with them, and I have not drawn it or cast it yet. So I don't know. I copied this creature base from Daniel straight up from his winning list. I think Click is good. Maybe Counterspell's bad. Maybe on the draw I don't want Counterspell. On the play I probably do. Plows, Ponders, all of those are required. And Rough. Do you ever just want every card in your deck? Because I do, frequently. Maybe I'll cut... No, Snapcaster can't be worse than one of these other cards. We're not hyping 61 cards. We're not doing it. I'm cutting a True Name, even though that might be a huge mistake. I think the first Click is better than the 4th True Name, though I kind of want all of them. All right, so I got 2 Forces, 2 Ponders, a Threat, and a Wasteland. Sign me up. I'm going to force this Chalice. I probably have to pitch the Click, realistically. Because I'm going to need these Ponders to like set up my game. Going for this. Hopefully they kept their hand on the strength of turn 1 Chalice and they have nothing else. Hopefully they don't have another Chalice. Alright, there's the Cloud Post. Alright, we are flush with Force of Wills. Stoneforge Mystic's a good one. And we even found it. Alright, so I guess the next question... No, I'm gonna... Oh shit. I've misclicked. I should have put the Disenchant in my hand and the Stoneforge on top in case they somehow Thought Knot Seer this turn. Though I don't know what combination of lands does that. Oh, Grim Monolith does that. I will Force of Will it though. Even though I wish I didn't have to. Alright, so if they ever try to untap the Grim Monolith, I can destroy it. Batterskull races, what's his face? Reality Smasher. Can you control Z cards on top? I feel like I've tried and failed doing that in the past. Pass the turn. Make no plays. Shit. Ooh, nice. Somehow we got through that one. Alright, so I'm going to pass and either play Batterskull or zap this Grim Monolith. That might be a huge mistake, but I'm doing it. It's like 3 Wastelands in a matchup where I like Wasteland. I only like when I have Wasteland, though. They're not allowed to do it. Though the post decks usually don't have Wasteland, I think. Yeah, live your best life. They didn't do anything with 5 mana last turn, so like... Batterskull, like I said, races Reality Smasher. If I draw a land this turn, I can ponder. I'll probably ponder even if I don't draw land. Like finding my land drop to also Batterskull and ponder. Whoa. They call that mad respect. Shame it didn't work out for him. Alright, I'm just living my life like they don't have Wasteland. Yeah, jamming an All Is Dust on a single Stoneforge Mystic kind of signals that they have a Reality Smasher. All right, Chalice for 1. All right, we're past the point where I'm worried about that. Now I'm worried about Ulamog. Yeah. All right, there's the Jitte. I'll Stoneforge in the Batterskull, and hopefully we can win from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're still too short of Ulamog. All right, there's the Smasher that we talked about. Confirmed. Probably can't even attack, yeah. They're going to be so sad about this Palace Jailer. Skadoosh. So I'm only going to attack with... Oh, wait, no. I still have Jailer. All right. I was going to say I'm not going to attack with Jailer, but it has Summoning Sickness, so I don't get to attack with it anyway. But I want to be able to block a Smasher. Wow, that was a good draw. And we did it. Whew. See, like, this is why I don't think Back to Basics is required. Like, this is exactly the matchup you would put Back to Basics in your deck to combat, and we just beat it anyway. Like, your fair game is good enough. You can just beat them. All right, last round. 4-1 hype. Also pasta salad hype. It's hot in Pittsburgh. It's been like over 70 the last week, so that requires pasta salad in my fridge. So our loss so far was the Black-Red Reanimator, but it was EW Landon, and he never loses. So that doesn't really count. Could have been doing anything. Finals hype. Finals hype. Well, this hand is good against like exactly Storm and nothing else. All right, I got some ponders and shit. I'll keep it. Snapcaster can take a break. All right, my opponent's also on 6. Let's see, was the triple Force of Will hand what I wanted? Oh, I won the die roll. I was like, wait, how am I going first? Are they actually on Manalist Dredge? Did this happen somehow? All right, I found the white source. We get to Stoneforge, but no counter magic is forthcoming. Let's hope they're not a combo deck. Oh no, basic swamp. Shit, they're totally a combo deck. They named Force of Will. All right. Nice try. My hand sucks. Joke's on you. That's probably really a joke on me, though. So what deck plays Cabal Therapy? Phoenix, specifically, over Storm. Storm doesn't really play it anymore. Since they lost Probe, their therapies aren't as good. Alright, I'm going to go for the Stoneforge. I'm going to have to clock them no matter what they are. And Batterskull might actually race some Phoenixes if they don't go off this turn. Yeah, Reanimator. It's a really good thing we didn't keep that triple Force of Will 7, because they would have just therapied me for 3. Like the old 3x. So we're looking smart, even though we might just die. Though I have Caracas, randomly. Alright, there's Lotus Petal. Unmask, targeting themselves. It's Chancellor. Okay. So they're going Hellbent to exhume a Chancellor, and I have Batterskull. So I'm winning this race. Yeah, so I'm winning the race, and I also just like can easily deal with this thing at a future time. It's like Swords to Plowshares, and I win. This doesn't have Vidge or anything, does it? Nope, flying. All right. I even have Force of Will at the ready. Feel pretty okay here. Their hand is not great. All right, so I want to brainstorm into a land plow. Ooh, now I just need a land. So now I'm going to ponder because I only need one thing instead of 2. You brainstorm when you need 2 things. You ponder when you need 1 thing. None of these are the things I want. Land. Nice. We did it. They can Force of Will anything they do. Like, top of our deck is wild. Jeez, Force of Will. Just have to hope that they don't have a Force of Will of their own, though that seems unlikely. All right, well, I'm not going to vote for Lotus Petal. All right, now our hand is Force, blue card, while we have Stoneforge Batterskull in play against the basically Hellbent Reanimator opponent. Yeah, West Side, apparently. And they're done. All right, so we only saw Swamps and Lotus Petal, but they're presumably black-red. Is there a mono-black Reanimator deck? If there is, do I care? Is it that much different than black-red? All right, the crypts all come in. The priests, heavy sideboard. Is Jailer actually good? Probably not. I do love me some Jailer, though. All right, Jitte is not great. Stoneforge isn't great. Judgment's great. Click's great. Pierce, Snare, all great. Wasteland's not great. Except it functions as a land drop, which might be important. I think Plow's better than Council's Judgment. They're like the same card, but one costs 3 and is a sorcery. All right, do I want to make any changes? Do I think Palace Jailer is better than any of these other cards? Probably not. All right, let's battle. Defeat Reanimator for the 4-1 hype. Our only other loss was to Reanimator. All right, I have a Surgical to survive turn 1. I have a Crypt to survive subsequent turns. I need another land eventually. If they have a turn 1 monster and a discard spell to clear the way, then they're gonna have a monster, like, whatever. Unmask targeting me, okay. They pitched Cabal Therapy to do that. All right, Surgical's in the bin. Faithless Looting. Let's hope this is all they got. Wow, no monster hit the graveyard there. It's just Wear Tear and Chrome Mox. All right, we are so skilled and powerful. Don't daze me, bro. I even drew an island. Behold. All right, I'm hiding my good card on top of my deck because I can snap Surgical. All right, they're just entombing. Do they know I have Tormod's Crypt in play? Are they aware? Goodbye. All right, there it is. They're hellbent. We should be able to figure out how to win this one from here. Oh, I wanted Snapcaster Mage, my bad. So I'm going to hold on to the Stoneforge Mystic because I can brainstorm this Batterskull back in and then get it with Stoneforge. All right, bang, bang. As I boarded out the Jitte, Batterskull is my only thing to get. This is the only way to get value. We got a little bit of time here. They don't have a monster or a way to reanimate it currently. And those are the two things their deck requires. Thoughtseize, huh? Batterskull is my best path to win this game, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Another land? Yes. All right, so now I have Snap Surgical and deploy Batterskull up. Boggy, I think that in this particular situation, it's totally worth it. Like when they just have nothing at all. Though it is an interesting decision. Though when the coast is clear to do so, I will usually take the value play. All right, sweet. Now I have Snap Surgical and Counterspell and Swords to Plowshares all available. They're on a 2-turn clock, and I have 2 counterspells. I am not going to play that card because it doesn't affect the clock. They're dead next turn. I'm also at 32, so even if they figure out how to do that, put a creature into play, I'm still not dead to it. Boom! Easy. Only lost to the unbeatable E.W. Landon. And Stoneblade's still good. All right, so we got a few new followers tonight. That means we opened some treasures. Treasure hype, treasure hype. Let's open a big treasure. We haven't opened like 1,000 play points or like a set of anything ever. Oh, we need the right deck up. Cabal Therapy, Legacy playable. Itali the Primal Storm. 61 treasures, that would be great. That's not the number I actually have though. I wish I had that many. Isn't this card like hot, hot, hot in real life? Thousand-Year Elixir. I don't know. Yeah, that's a hot card in real life. I don't know about Magic Online. Kessig Wolf Run. Standard All-Star. Oh, Bloodghast and Inkmoth Nexus. Those are real cards. This is not a real card. Neither is that. Come on, big money. Show me that foil Surgical Extraction. Ooh, the Ageless. Hebe Genie 1, thanks for the follow. Result of the Blood Witch. We got 1 crack left at this. Come on, RNGesus. Praise be. RNGesus hates me. Didn't this card break Moto for a while? Like, literally just didn't work. If you put this card into play, Moto died. Eidolon of Blossoms, the Legacy All-Star. Alright, so we got a pretty squeaky clean 4-1, and our loss was to a good matchup. So, Stoneblade's still good. Don't let the hype die down. So, does anyone have any questions about this deck or Legacy? You want to talk for a little bit? I'm not going to fire up another league because I'm gonna be done pretty soon. I don't want to play like 1 match and then leave you all hanging. But this is the deck. I changed my build of the deck a little closer to Daniel's build. I still like the Wastelands. I think they're right. Having 2 Wastelands in the deck is really good. I could see you get away with 1, but like I like 2 a lot. Jailer is sweet. Meddling Mage didn't do anything. Never came in. That was an experiment. There's probably better cards than this. Tormod's Crypt was pretty cool. The one time it was relevant. But Surgical would have done the same thing in that spot. Though I guess the Crypt, it was... my opponent was unable to discard it from my hand because it was in play already. And it swept up a Faithless Looting as well as a Grizzlebrand. So maybe there's something to be said there. You can't snap it back. This mono Flusterstorm sideboard. That is a lot of Flusterstorms. I like it. Alright, well, if that's all there is, if nobody has anything else to ask, I guess I have a question. What do I do with these? I have so many of these stupid things. This is important, right? Like, don't people want Mox qualifier points? I don't even know what to do with them. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, that's my stream for the night. I'll be back Monday. I'll play more Legacy. But for the night, I am Dunzos. Thanks for tuning in. And my losses at the GP. All right, well, there were 6 of them. Let me try to figure this out. I lost to Is It Delver twice. I lost to the Mirror twice. I lost to Grixis Delver once. And I lost to Death Shadow once. Those were my 6 losses. They were all close. None of them were blowouts. None of them are what I perceive to be bad matchups. But like they were all situations where like my opponent stuck the first true name and I just couldn't answer it, or like the Delver player like had turn 1 Delver, flipped in the blind, like had the daze for my answer, and then I died. So like they were all close. They were all just like reasonable Legacy games that didn't go my way, that easily could have gone the other way. So I never got like crushed in the GP with this list. Like it is still rock solid. If you want to check out more detail or talk about it more, follow me at Vosh&Roll on Twitter. That's at the bottom of your screen right now. I always tweet like my round by round when I'm playing live tournaments, and my tournament report as it stands is on Twitter. It's just a Twitter thread. It said every round, how I did, what I played against. So if you're interested in that or asking more details about matches, you can follow me there. Yeah, like everything is just racing. All races. I only played against one combo deck and I defeated it. I played against Slow Depths once. So we're going to raid Arkin because Arkin rolls. And then we are going to... I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired. It's early, but I'm tired. And I have a midnight showing of Endgame tomorrow. So it's time to go to bed. Good night, everyone. Let's go hang out with Arkin.